So this video is about home insurance claim myths that can cost you thousands of dollars, cost you a lot of money. So my name is Mike Keeler. I'm a licensed public adjuster in the state of Florida. So unfortunately, people tend to believe insurance agents, sometimes roofers, plumbers, neighbors, and other people on certain things that they may have experienced or what they believe to be true. And so a lot of times that isn't the case, and it could be bad information. So some of these myths, we're going to go through. The first layer is when you're calling in a claim to the insurance company. Now they have these people that take information on your claim, ask questions, and then they'll tell you at the end it's going to be signed to an adjuster and so forth and so on. Now, some insurance companies even have these people trained to let you know when you're calling in your claim that it's not covered, which is mind-blowing, but some do it. So you may have some of these people tell you, oh, hey, listen, your damage is old, it happened a couple months ago, you can't file a claim. That may not be true. As a matter of fact, you can file for old damage. Now, depends how long, what the situation is. So, a lot of it based on the policy, what your state laws are. Sometimes they'll tell you that this isn't covered. Now, I remember during the heyday of the cast iron pipe claims here in Florida, people would call in a claim and let them know that they have cast iron pipes, and these people would automatically tell them, and this would actually work, cast iron pipes aren't covered. Well, that's not true. And people would actually not carry through with the claim. A lot of times too, they'll use old, well, your claim's too old, you can't file claim. That happens a lot with hurricane claims. Um, so unfortunately, we can't take a claim. Listen, any of the situations, this is how you handle it. If you're calling for a claim and they tell you you don't have a claim, the claim's too old, you ran out of time, whatever you tell them point blank, that's okay. I still want to file a claim. I want the claim to be investigated. If you're refusing to file this claim, please let me know and I'll file a complaint with the state that you're refusing to take my claim. All right? Because what happens is they have to investigate it. And maybe any of these are true. Maybe your claim can't be pursued. But they should, most states have it to where they have to send you a letter. Okay? So they have to investigate it, let them send you a letter, and then you could double check with a public adjuster and attorney if you're handling the claim yourself. So here's some of the myths, and actually, when we talk about water damage, um, this myth right here doesn't necessarily cover about how it's costing you money or could cost you money, but it's more or less a myth that relates to all water damage, that people are under the assumption no matter how it happened, it is covered. That's not the case at all. Okay? That's not the case. So let's go into a couple situations where the insurance company is going to tell you that this may not be covered and that may not be true. So really when a lot of situations happen with mold, people find mold and then they're going to call the insurance company to file a claim. And then what happens after that is the insurance company is going to tell you mold by itself usually is not covered. So what has to happen, it has to be covered from a peril that is insurable. All right? So you have to take a look. Did it come from a hurricane? Did it come from a fire, the mold? Did it come from water damage? A sudden or accidental overflow or discharge of water into your home. Mold needs a water source. All right? So if they tell you that mold isn't covered, did you have a water event that causes mold? And if yes, then that does not apply with them telling you that the claim is not covered. Okay? So again, with mold, the situation always is relevant to some type of water damage. All right? I talked about the plumbing. A lot of times, if you have a slab leak, let's just say it's cost $8,000 for the plumber. The piping itself, let's just say you had a kitchen and a slab leak under your kitchen, and there was, I don't know, a couple 100 feet that had to be replaced of pipe. Okay, maybe that's a couple $100. And so, of an 8,000 plumbing bill, 200s for the piping. The majority of this money is going for the labor and the work of cutting open the concrete and putting concrete back in, so on and so forth. So your policy may or may not have what they call two different things. Indirect, there's something called indirect damage. Depending on the wording, you won't see the indirect wording in there, but they'll talk about direct water damage and what's covered, and the other thing is access. So these two words, because breaking in cause indirect damage to your home or townhome or whatever it is, and you have to get access to the pipe. So depending on your policy, depending on your insurance company, yes, they would have to pay for some of the plumbing. Now, again, that would be for the access to the plumbing system, meaning the pipe, or indirectly damaged. Not direct from the water, but indirectly because of having to fix the pipe. Now, the miss when it comes to roof damage is probably the one that most people leave a lot of money on the table. And that is, usually they'll give you this excuse. We don't see any wind damage. Your roof is just old. There's wear and tear, other things. They'll have an engineer come out and basically lie to you. So this causes a lot of people not to pursue it further once they have an engineer, once they get denied. And so you're leaving a lot of money on the table here. All right. A lot of times with hail damage, they'll say it's only aesthetic. Your roof is okay. It's just the way it looks. There ain't going to be any serious damage to you. Other times, in any and all situations involving a roof damage claim, they're going to tell you you're going to leave a lot of money on the table if you listen to them. There's only 7 shingles or tiles that are damaged. You only need to we're only going to pay for a roof repair. There's only 5 tiles. There's only 10 tiles. Whatever, it's going to be something where your roof only needs to be repaired. All right? All these are the most common BS answers to try and get you to not pursue the claim any further, to get you just to forget about it, and you're leaving money on the table. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, please. Also, give me a thumbs up. Like this video. So here's a few other miscellaneous myths. Some of this happens to do not directly on leaving money on the table. These two do, but it's another one that you hear quite often and it doesn't bear any relevancy. So my neighbor got $150,000, a new roof, so I should get something similar from my insurance company. There's so many different things that go into that. Don't ever base anything on what your neighbor did, because there's different insurance companies, different damages, different quality of products, just so many different things. Now this is where a miscellaneous myth that people leave money on the table is when there's a denied claim and they feel like there's nothing else they can do. Always have a PA or an attorney double check to see if you have rights to any type of claim. if it was denied, okay? A PA or an attorney. Big thing too is your agent, who's basically an arm of the insurance company, may say that's not covered. Sorry. No, you know what? The claim that you want to put in, it's not covered. These agents, well, you have to know that it's incentive based. The least amount of claims they have in their portfolio, they get certain bonuses. So don't ever listen to an agent. There might be a few good ones that will steer you the right way, but just know the majority of them over the past 5, 10 years, it's just been bad, some of the advice that they give people. Um, Part of it is they just don't have time to know every policy. Every insurance company has a different policy and some different endorsements and exclusions. They do also commercial policies, which are far different, and business policies, which are far different. So, in all fairness to agents, they just don't have time for it. So, this one's for claim payouts. Just some myths. When you get underpaid, all right, underpaid, they're going to tell you, hey, this is all we believe your claim is worth. Another thing when it comes to the underpayment is maybe they're paying for a portion of it. We're not going to cover all your damages because of whatever. The prices are too high. Only part of the room should be damaged. We think only part of the room was damaged, only part of the flooring, only part of the roof, whatever. There's 100 different things they can say there. And even when you submit an estimate, they're going to say, well, we're not going to consider the estimates because they're just too dang high. When in reality, maybe your contractors found a lot of things that the insurance company didn't do correctly. Measurements, a lower quality of product. For instance, cabinets. Okay. You can, on the program, which is called Xactimate, that the insurance company uses, they can manipulate what type of cabinets you had. Nicer cabinets, obviously it pays more, and they can actually put a lower grade cabinet for you. So these are some of the myths when it comes to really the claim payouts. So I'd be curious, have you heard any myths? Let me know what you've heard. Comment on this video and let me know what you've heard, if anything. And again, my name is Mike Keeler. I'm a licensed public adjuster in the state of Florida. If you have any questions or need help with a claim, this is how you can get a hold of me. Thank you.